Hello everybody, welcome to I8 qualifying in Sanya. Well, we should be looking for quite an interesting race for the meanwhile, but before so, we have to do qualifying, so let's have a look at the order at the moment. Currently on board with one of the D-Pod or Dolphin Racing cars there. Entirely sure who that is.
Is it Tingers?
Most likely. Let's
Yes,
go on board
it
with
is Tingers.
let's go on board with a current provisional pole sitter. The Fleet driver seems to be on a hot lap, but he is a yellow first sector. But I'm sure that'll change as the slipstream down the straight could be very important to this hot.
Yeah, slipstream here is very important. Of course, two very long straights coming towards the final corner and out of the final corner. A lot of drivers have been complaining because a few drivers have been sort of stopping and trolling other drivers. I guess that's the word for it. But I guess that is racing at the end of the day.
That is racing indeed. Other drivers do anything not to give their competition a advantage in any way, shape or form.
Yep, as we saw during the American Grand Prix in F1. There's quite a nice slipstream train coming down towards the final corner. 4 cars here. Cobra, a 9TZ, a Lolex, and a ProDrive.
I think we're in the middle of another one here, and I've just noticed there's still a bit of the barrier on the track, which is somewhat interesting.
Yeah, but I believe it's out of the racing line, so no one's really fixed it throughout the weekend.
I would fix that though, because some drivers might benefit from taking a tight line on the inside of that corner. That could be causing issues.
Yeah, you say that, but I don't think they would, to be honest, because the line through that particular corner seems you need to take, as much exit speed as you can, especially with these i8 cars, so you go out as wide as possible. Whereas the barrier I think you're talking about is quite close to the apex of the corner.
Yeah, the barrier I'm talking about is quite late towards, well, where I would expect cars to be apex, however, that doesn't seem to be the case. One thing I've just realised, that the wall that you just saw while on board with the Red Bull driver of, I believe, Arceus at the moment.
Arceus, not Arceus.
Arceus, I don't know. What more do you want me to say? Arceus?
No, Arceus. You said Arceus. Anyway, you were saying about the what you saw while watching him.
Yeah, the wall on the exit of, I'm not entirely very certain it's turn 15. Most certainly I'm wrong on that regard. But the wall sticks out, which makes the exit really difficult to get right on most laps.
I guess so.
Another thing.
This track is very difficult, I think turn 2 is the corner you were talking about. It's got a very wide entry and very, very, very tight exit. And that, I feel, is very representative of a lot of corners on this track. There's only 4, proper braking zones, which are turn 2, I don't know, but it's a hairpin, and then the final turn. It's the penultimate corner I'm talking about. And then
that is the wall that I was going on about. That is really hard to get right on the
Yeah, and this one as well. turn 2, where you've got a very, very tight exit there. No, there's some very tricky aspects of this course, and these i8 drivers, I'm surprised they're not struggling more. But you know, I guess at the end of the day, they're doing what they can.
Yeah, all these drivers will be doing somewhat to the best of their ability.
And as usual, the i8 field is very close.
I don't know how close you can call 1 minute 29 to 1 minute 37, but for the most part, the main bulk of the field is somewhat close, with only, if I can do my maths correct, 2 seconds and 1/10 splitting the entire field. Pretty much. P18 to P1, so 28.506 to a 130.6.
And something to mention, FF Devon, the Touran driver that we saw, especially early in the season, winning races, has moved to Vexella. Of course, Touran being sold to become Cobra Racing. But, yeah, he's now in Vexella. He's down in P12, which I'd expect him to be higher, but at the end of the day, it is what it is.
I'm going to bring something up. It's very off topic, but Deepwood has, by the looks of it, he has not updated the graphics in a fair amount of time, and that's understandable considering the i8 series is not considered priority, as we see FF Devon spinning around there on the curb.
Yes, Deepod has just said, shut up in media chat to Project. Yes, Indom, but it's now round 7. Indom? Deepod, it's now round 7.
So we are currently using graphics that have not been updated since round 4 of the i8. And to be fair, it's not really that important. It is draw i8, and the audience isn't particularly the biggest out of all the leagues, even though we do have 20 people watching right now. That pales in comparison to the viewership that we have for F1. But then again, it's a hybrid electric series, which is comparatively slower to F1, and that is totally understandable.
Comparatively slower to FE as well. I was driving these cars earlier, and the understeer that they have, oh my lord, I thought I was going to develop some form of mental, how do I say this without breaking Deepod's rules of appropriation? Mental slowness because of how understeery and slow they were.
Well, one thing that we failed to notice while we were talking about Deepod not updating the graphics is that Puffy Badmartin has gone quickest to a 28.8.
Well, there's still people on laps, so we don't know what could happen. Pilot can't deny him. Can one Yeetie boy deny him with that green sector 1? I don't think he can. He hasn't got slipstream. He's all alone.
Oh, we are on board with him. But Ewok could be going slipstream to the fleet car here. So this is, to my knowledge, this is one of the last remaining fleet teams, if not the last team.
No, Fleet FE still exists, I think.
Didn't they rebrand into Tesla?
No, Tesla got their team from the start of the season, I think.
No, didn't.
Tesla rebranded into Expreta Tesla, but Fleet FE still exists, I think.
I have not paid any attention towards Iron Formula
Fleet
E
FE
news.
still exists. With Keepergast and apparently Worsford is now a fleet driver.
Oh, Fleet Formula E does exist, and somehow they are P3 in the championship. That's probably, to my knowledge, their highest position in any of the championships at the moment.
I don't know. They were doing pretty well in I8. They might be in P2 there. I'm not particularly sure.
Another
But
thing.
now qualifying has ended. Someone has denied Puffy of that P1. Dark is now in P1.
Oh wow! So huge turn of events in this qualifying session.
Yeah. That Vexella team were denied their first pole in I8. That may be depressing if you're a fan of Faster and Vexella.
I don't know many people that are, to be fair.
Miggy is, I think.
Well, Miggy, that's an invalid point because Miggy used to be a Formula 2 driver for the Vexala team.
And the developers shut down the game for maintenance. That's the
Oh
problem.
boy.
So I believe we will now be rejoining. As the stream quality from D-Pods oh no, never mind, ignore me. As we now wait for the race start. And I will run you through the qualifying order, and then I think we'll go for our race start. Since Project User has muted himself.
For good reason. Okay, we are going to quickly move to intro, and then we will see you back for the start of the race.
Goodbye. Dun, 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 dun.
Hello everybody, welcome to I8 Season 1 Round 7 of the Sanya. And we are in Sanya, in China, which is quite arguably one of the greatest circuits in the Formula E calendar so far, apart from Zurich. Really more to say, we've got a grid lineup of, well, I don't actually know, I will tell you in a moment. This is probably one of the worst mistakes I've ever made, not having that for me. Get it.
We have Dark on pole.
There we go, that's the track. I'm terrible at this.
Okay, so we've got Dark on pole with Puffy in P2. One ET boy for that fleet team in P3 with Con P4. Pilot for the new team, Cobra Racing in P5. And Father Ewok for Dolphin Electric in P6. Nick and in P7 with FF Devon for the first time in Vexella in P8. Arceus in P9, followed by Superfist in that Lolex. That is your top 10 today. In P11 we have Lowly Aishan with RX close behind him. P13 we have Runaway Drive, quite low for him in perspective of how he's doing in the season. And Accurus for that great team in P14. Tingers in P15, Black in P16, Finale in P17, Max Poke in P18, Titanic in P19, and Moja in P20. Yes. As we now watch the cars, they're gridding up.
I do hope that there is another camera checkpoint before the.
There is. There is, I think. So project. Anyone you think is going to win this race?
This is I8. Anyone can win this race, and considering it is a sprint race, which I'm assuming will have collisions, even though this is.
Oh no, I8 don't do sprint races.
Oh, okay. That just shows how little I call from previous experience. If I remember,
Yeah, I8 did a singular sprint race, and I think
it went to shambles.
Yeah, I think 10 cars flipped, about something like that.
Yeah, but that's funny and that's amazing.
Not for the drivers.
Well, entertainment is more important than a good result for the driver, especially considering that I8 is quite arguably one of the least important series in the Ion group, I would say, of race series.
Anyone you were maybe shocked by during that qualifying session? Because there were a few people I was shocked by getting up so high in order.
Puffy Bad Martin. This might just be a preconceived notion because I know that Puffy isn't the. How do I say this without?
He's not the fastest driver, is he?
He's not particularly a quick driver, so I'm interested to see how he has performed so well in the I8 qualifying session. I'm sure.
Well, props off to him. He was down at FA practice early, driving for that 9TZ team that he's a reserve of, and he was down at that I8 practice early, so it shows he was getting the hours in. So obviously, maybe he has just been practicing a lot. Maybe that's why he's so far up. And at the end of the day, credit to him if that's the reason why. You have to get those hours in.
You do actually have to get those hours in. Getting practice on a track is kind of important, but another thing that you need to take into account is different cars require different methods of driving them, and the i8 requires, to my knowledge, a rather smooth driving style to make it, and it also resembled, in a way, karting, because the way that you need to drive these cars is purely based off momentum, and in karting, if you lose momentum, that is going to significantly reduce your performance over a lap.
It is, and at the end of the day, these cars, they are arguably the most understeery cars in Ion. They are, in my opinion, I think they're horrible cars to drive. But the drivers that can drive them well, obviously, as you said, have a very smooth driving style. But it seems we are about to get underway.
Finally.
Well, it is Ion. What would Ion be without a delay?
It would probably be a normal racing league, if you ask me.
Well, we are the most advanced league on Roblox, apparently. Apparently.
That, well, we can say that because our servers crash and others don't, because we have more technology, some arguably more useless than others. Coachers just came to the realization that dummy grids exist in Formula E. For context, the driver stays 2 positions, or 2 total grid slots behind their start grid slot, and they then wheel spin their rear tires to get. It works in a similar way to a formation lap, apart from it doesn't take forever. And it's more useful, efficient tire warming for Formula E instead of just doing an entire lap, which wastes energy. Anyway, enough about dummy grids and how British Kota himself is one.
Alright, thank you, Project.
And we
Uh,
shall be getting this race underway soon. And someone is struggling to get into the grid slot, which is
accurate. Yeah,
considering,
I will shame you.
to my knowledge, the drivers haven't been told to jump out and get back into their cars yet.
No, they haven't. It's happening very slowly, and people are kind of just doing it. I can feel. Yeah, go. Faster is taking his sweet time, or Apollo. I saw Faster announcing something, but now it seems to be Apollo hosting this. Either way, they're both taking their time to tell everyone to jump in and out. So we will have to wait and see what happens here. Yeah.
Hopefully something happens, otherwise this would be an incredibly anticlimactic warm-up to the race.
Well, I don't see any reason why they'd cancel it. It's not raining, and there isn't a safety car on track, so.
Why they you know what? I'm not even going to argue. I'm simply just going to reserve myself for the meantime.
But I don't exactly know what we're waiting for. And I must admit, it's kind of annoying. Be nice if we could get some insight into what was going on, but
I will take a gander into the on Formula E management channel to see if there's anything new, and no, we have no idea what's going on. We just assume it's cool, eye on delays, or hopefully we might get a nice, somewhat scheduled race start of 16:30 time in the UK. I'm not entirely sure what that is in China right now. Let's have a look at what time zone Sanya is in. So GMT +8. So if I do this correctly, it's currently 2 in the morning in Sanya. So if we go by that logic, the track should be pitch dark right now, but it isn't. And this Endurance Championship, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, yeah, it's lucky no one spoke out against the government yet, though. So
no. Oh, I've just been informed that it is actually 2 a.m. Apart from that, we have invested into incredibly high-tech night vision cameras, which can display everything as if it was day still.
yeah, see, Ion, most intense league, most technologically advanced league in Roblox. As we're still waiting, I have asked race director Mr. Apollo why we're waiting so long, but he has not commented. As Faster has said something.
Jump in, jump out of your cars, and then get back in so you appear on the leaderboard. No one doesn't want to appear on the leaderboard, otherwise they would have to do a lap, which means they would be a lap down. We had one example of this in Italy, Season 3, Formula 1, where Persensus hadn't jumped out of his car and was a lap down for the entire race, and got punished for it because they're an idiot, in the politest way possible.
Faster has said something. You can read it there. You can't anymore, but you could read it.
The drivers are being told to watch the lights and have their front tires behind the yellow lines. There we go. The lights are coming on for the first time in Sanya, and the last time, hopefully. After a very long wait, they are out. It seems to be a rather boring start for everyone, and I can't really see what is going on at the moment as well. Oh, there we go. Puffy Bad Martin currently in P3 in the pack with Dark White, Dark in the Dolphin Electric car running away at the moment with a rather considerable lead. There's 4 drivers getting involved for the fight for P1.
Pilot for me climbing up all the way to P2 from P4 on that grid. Puffy Bad Martin dropping back. Superfist coming up there. Dark getting a 5/10 lead from the Cobra Racing driver, and one Yeetie Boy holding it in P3. What can happen here? Puffy Bad Martin, I think, is slightly climbing back up, but it looks like Pilot's going to be able to attack Dark for the lead. They are going side by side through that corner. Not as close as usual, or at least it doesn't seem like it at the moment. Pilot is right behind that 9TC driver. The fleet of one Yeetie Boy is trying to also get involved with this, but he is leading a pack. We will have to see what happens here.
Very close between the top 4 drivers, only 9 tenths separating all of them. There you go, that very fancy animation. You can see the driver tower. Only 20 drivers on the grid today, even though we were expecting, if I'm not wrong, 24.
And I believe Pilot has made that move into the lead. Yes, he has. One Yeetie Boy only 700ths behind, and Dark has dropped back all the way to P3.
And it is Superfist with the fastest lap, only 4 tenths behind the leader. Puffy Bad Martin also looking to get in on this fight in his fleet car.
You mean his Vexella car?
Well, should we not get into the green discussion again?
So I hate drivers. We have a tip for you. Anyway, the Lolex of Superfist climbing up into P3. Pilot for me dropping slightly back. One Yeetie Boy now leading the way with Dark close behind, but it looks like the Lolex of Superfist is on the attack. He looks to be in P3, but he is fighting Dark for that P2 position, as there is a lot of vision lag at the moment, and it seems one Yeetie Boy is now right, but Dark is attacking him. So saying that has totally changed in the course of one lap, or a few corners. Sorry.
A throwback to Zurich, as there's a lot of cars. This is most of the field, in fact, in a slipstream train for the lead of the race at the moment. Well, this is what happened in Zurich in I8 and Formula E, which caused very close finishes at the end, and it was very dependent on who was making mistakes and falling out of the train. On the moment, it seems very unlikely you're falling out of the train with the amount of cars this close together on the straights.
The top 4 separated by 2, just under 2 tenths. Bloody Nora, these guys are close. I don't even know what's happening. It's just 4 cars going into turn 2 all together. It is neck and neck between these 4 cars.
Arceus takes the fastest lap, which, considering it's P6 at the moment, that could be considered a great achievement, as he moves down. He stays in P6, but Father Ewok setting the purple sector 1, which is no surprise considering the amount of slipstream he must be getting from the cars ahead of him.
And I have just been informed by D-Pod, it seems Tingers and Moja has retired from this race, but Tingers has a bit of a leaderboard issue. Even so, he's dropped right to the back, so that's not going to help him this race.
Well, considering there is only 14 or so laps remaining in this race, it would be a very interesting drive that you would have to perform in order to gain back that 138.229 second gap to the leader, which is now increasing quite considerably to 134.237 seconds.
As the field seems to be spreading out a bit, but never mind, it's gotten close again. It looked for a second there was a gap forming, but no.
Oh my, there is a 6-way, or there was a 6-way tie for, well, P11, which is, that has got to be the biggest amount of cars tying for a singular position.
A lot of drivers make a mistake out of that turn 2. Pilot for me is shot up from P4 to P1. He is fighting up there, and a lot of drivers gained from that. There is 5 drivers going through that corner together. Oh my lord! Is anyone going to take AM? No,
We have
they're
our
not.
first. Well, we've already had an attack mode activation. It is the McLaren of RXV2Z, and we've got someone else. We've got multiple people taking attack mode. It's mostly people in the back that will be looking to fight towards the main pack, which is really where you want to be, considering that the slipstream is so important. And wow, that was quite close. Well, it is close for the lead, considering there is. If my eyes do not deceive me, there is 10 cars incredibly close to the lead at the moment.
This is the closest I8 race so far, I think. It looks like the Red Bull of Arceus is leading the way. But never mind, he's been swallowed up by the slipstream train. Who will be leading? It looks to be a fight between Dark and Pilot. Arceus is apparently leading. I did not expect that one. The top 7 separated by 2 tenths. Arceus has dropped right back, it seems. One Yeetie Boy's up there, Dark's up there, Tingers is up there. There's quite a few of them up there.
This has got to be one of the most comedic races I think I've ever watched, where people at the back on the attack mode. The McLaren, quite specifically, has got the fastest lap now with only 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining on their attack mode. Sure, attack mode won't matter as Dark YZ sets the purple sector. I say that as 2 attack mode runners, P13 and P14, set their fastest first sector of the race.
Dark seeming to form a little bit of a gap, but that gap has disappeared once again due to Slipstream. Slipstream really should be considered to be maybe nerfed because no one can escape. Dark will get a bit of a lead, and then down this long back straight, one Yeetie Boy, Pilot for me, or any other driver, Superfist, will come back at him. Dark looks like he's the strongest driver on this field today, but he can't get a gap. And that's what's keeping this race ridiculously close, as the top 6 drivers are now separated by a second.
I have no words to describe what you are seeing on your screen right now. Or, well, I do have words to describe what you're seeing on your screen right now, apart from I'm fairly certain I'm not allowed to say them on stream.
People are dropping back from P1 to P7 due to having a bad exit out of the corner. That is ridiculous. Consistency is going to be the main aspect of this race, I believe, because the slipstream is just keeping these drivers with the pace in contention with these drivers with, let's say, not so great pace.
Hold on a second. We had someone with 3 fastest sectors. The 3 purple sectors, yet they didn't have the fastest lap, which, to me, doesn't really make any sense.
And I believe the first driver of the top drivers has taken attack mode, runaway driver for that pro drive. How will this help him? Will it be able to get him out of the slipstream and make a gap? I don't believe it will.
Let's see what the driver's seeing. Oh, no, that is causing a huge gap to form. He's got such a good run down that straight. Well, attack mode, which is giving you more energy to deploy. Well, I say more energy. It doesn't give you any more energy, but it deploys more energy, which is giving him exceptional exit. And with this slipstream, it's going to be a great slingshot for the driver.
I do believe runaway driver has got into the lead, but will the slipstream hold the other drivers with him? He's got in the lead, but how big is the gap? It's only 3 tenths.
The greatest
way tie for P3.
The greatest way that this driver now, runaway drive, can gap his opponents is here. The technical section of the track, which doesn't really matter if you have slipstream or not, and the exits that he'll be getting with attack mode will be better than his opponents. But I would be fairly surprised if his opponents do not take attack mode this lap. And attack mode is one of those advantages that you can gain with a small or major time loss around some tracks. And there we go, Dark YC taking attack mode.
Dark also takes attack mode. Is this a strategic plan to try and get back up to a runaway driver? I'm surprised more drivers didn't take attack mode, but we will have to see.
Look at the gap he has formed there. That's the biggest gap we've seen between the leader and the pack so far, but he goes very wide there. That's compromised his exit a lot, and Dark YZ is already on the back of the Pro Drive.
That is not surprising. The Pro Drive definitely didn't look like the strongest driver this race. Seeing Dark taking attack mode and getting back up there with him is not a surprise to me. I don't know about you, Project. It will have to see now, will the drivers that don't have AM be able to hold on?
I would be very surprised if they were able to hold on. I have a bit of research that I have to do back. Because I'm fairly certain that the primary sponsor of the Fleet team was purchased by Adobe, if I'm not wrong. Because they have took over their products and renamed them as their own. Anyway, enough on that. There is currently a battle for the lead, which is more important, Runaway Drive. Well, on the timing screens it says he has a huge gap to Dark YZ, but apparently he doesn't.
I'm surprised. I'd be surprised if some more drivers don't take attack mode this lap. All the top three have attack mode. Are they going to take it? A Fleet has. Was that one Yeetie boy? Yes, it was. Father Ewok has as well. Superfist has as well. The only driver in the top 7 that hasn't is Pilot for me. Puffy and Cons don't have it, but Arceus Black and FF Devon do. The top 12 mostly have attack mode now. What are the 3 that don't doing? Is this a strategy call from them? I don't think it's a smart one.
Well, most strategy calls in I-8 aren't really that educated, considering that most data is not really collectible, as tyre wear isn't really a factor, and, well, in short races like this, well, I say short, 17 laps, energy/fuel consumption does not matter one bit.
Runaway Driver only has 10 seconds left of his attack mode. Will this give Dark a chance to attack him? Really, for Dark, he wants to get past while they both have attack mode so he can prove he has the more pace, but at the end of the day, Runaway Driver's run out of attack mode. Dark is right behind him. They come through turn 2. Will Dark get the better exit? Well, of course he will. He has attack mode and he is past.
And with the extra lap of attack mode that Dark has, this is going to mean that Dark is going to be able to form a considerable gap to Runaway Drive behind him. And Runaway Drive will probably be consumed by the attack mode runners behind him.
Okay, so Puffy in that Vaxella and Pilot for me in that Cobra now take attack mode. Pilot is only 3 seconds behind, but Puffy is 5. How much time is this going to give them? Pilot was fighting for the lead in the early stages of this race. Will he be able to use that pace now and get back up to Dark? It's 3 seconds. I don't think he will.
What has happened to that slipstream train? It seems as if Dark taking the attack mode has allowed the Runaway Drive and Dark have been able to pull away from the pack, and Dark now, especially making a point that he doesn't want to be in another slipstream train.
He is going to run out of attack mode relatively soon. This could allow other drivers to catch up with them. The slipstream train could still form back up. We don't know what's going to happen yet. I don't know how long Dark has left of attack mode. We'll find out soon when the thing is displayed on the leaderboard again. But this, as he just runs out of attack mode with Accurus, P4 to P10 still have attack mode. They could catch back up with them, depending on how fast they are.
And Finale has just disconnected from the race. However, I'm not sure that's too important, considering they were 28.1 seconds behind.
Amateur.
Wow.
Accurus now getting swallowed by these attack mode runners. He is in P4. I think he's dropped back to P5. Super Fist is going to be attacking him soon. He's fighting with that Cobra, but that Cobra is now past. That Lolex will be fighting the Crake soon. So they come through the hairpin, down the long back straight. Will the Lolex be able to get past on this straight? He's closing. He's closing. He's going around the outside. He's not passing though. Runaway Drive dropping back into P3. He's also getting swallowed up by these attack mode runners, but there is still a 2-second gap to Dark.
For someone that is called Runaway Drive, they don't seem to be, well, running away with the race. In fact, it could be said that Dark is running away with the race, but now he has one Yeetie Boy on the back of him with that attack mode now.
And Pilot, for me, takes that fastest lap.
And everyone's attack mode should be running out soon, but Pilot for me might have an extra lap. This might have been the strategy that we were seeing here, as Dark YZ seems to have hit the wall. That's a terrible exit for the 97 car there.
Is this going to give Pilot, for me, the chance to catch back up? He's still got a lap of attack mode. Are these two going to take attack mode now to defend? No, they're not. Pilot, for me, has a chance, especially down this long back straight, to take the lead.
For someone that was criticizing the strategy that the team is making, it does seem as if it is paying off. And now, later on in the race, as everyone else has already taken attack mode, he will have an advantage down this straight, and that may mean that he can take the lead of this race and then run away with it.
But remember, these guys have a second attack mode. They are not done with these strategy calls yet. We will have to see what happens in the second phase of this race. When will these guys take their second attack mode, and will Pilot go for the undercut or overcut? The overcut with that attack mode again, I guess it would be called.
Well, the strategy from the team seems to be working fairly well, as Pilot for me now moves up into first position and will run away with it. And I would not be one bit surprised if they take their second attack mode on this lap, as it runs out incredibly soon.
He hits that wall. He's going to get a terrible X out there, and he's losing attack mode. One Yeetie Boy and Duck fly past him. That's not good for him, but he still has that fastest lap, and he is still going to be pushing up with them. He's probably
just going to stick
with these three. Something happened to Dark.
He must have hit the wall or something on the exit. And
fucking fading. He's fighting with the Lolex of Superfist.
boy.
Saying that, the Lolex of Superfist is catching back up, and so is Dark. Dark is trying to make that move in the slipstream. One Yeetie Boy is pulling away. This is not good for Pilot. He's lacking slipstream, whereas Dark has quite a bit. We're going to have to see. They're coming towards the final corner. Will Dark be able to make the move?
It's hard to tell. It doesn't seem as if he can, but the pack is now starting to catch up again, and we will see another close slipstream train for the lead.
One Yeetie Boy has an issue. What happened there? It's almost as if he broke on the straight, but he's back into the lead.
That could have just been a vision lag moment, but, well, doesn't seem to matter, as the pack is still incredibly close. 4 drivers, pretty much, no, I say pretty much, they are inside each other for the lead of the race at the moment.
This is not good for these guys that wanted to pull away. It seems, as I said, no matter what strategy you do, you cannot pull away in this series. Now, will anyone take their second attack mode? They have not.
I have a feeling that they won't want to take another attack mode, or it's going to be a tale of who's going to blink first, who's going to strike first, and who's going to try and use it as an advantage. I think that the Lolex there have made a mistake. That might not have been. It was. They made a mistake, and I believe they hit the wall. Doesn't seem to have affected them too much, considering that they will now have slipstream. The British Dakota will be momentarily departing as he clearly needs to do so. Well, they clearly need to do something. battle for the lead is still very much going on at the moment. Nobody backing off, and for sure, this battle will most likely, unless attack mode strategy plays out, will go to the end of the race. And you can see there someone running on the track, but that won't affect the series too much, considering that this is a what's the word for it? A non-collide series, as you can already see these drivers going inside each other, and this is basically a bumper-to-bumper train of cars here.
It's crazy between these drivers. Now, will anyone take their second attack mode? I'm having quite a big lag spike. Oh, not again.
Oh boy. And, well, we've just seen a server crash, which is unfortunate.
And that maybe... That is not good. We'll wait for the announcement in FB before we close out anything, but I think that may be the end of our race today, folks. People are asking for it to be restarted. They're saying 3-lap sprint, but that is just instantly taking attack mode and going to the end, so I don't know.
So, we should or may be seeing a restart and a few laps to go, so it'll be a 4-lap sprint to the end, which may bring a few drivers back into contention for the race win.
Restarts positions, 4 laps to go, so we will be having a 4-lap sprint to the end, folks. So we will now hopefully be gridding up and getting this underway quickly, but we'll have to see. We will sort out the game for you soon. Just
Some people are arguing the fact that it shouldn't be restarted, considering Formula E is in 5 minutes, but I happen to disagree. Well, it would be rather anticlimactic for the race not to finish as it should.
though it is annoying for energy saving. Once again, energy saving has been ruined by the fact that we have not made it to the end of the race.
This was exactly what happened in the Formula E initial Formula E race here at Sanya. The server crashed and it affected the way that
Something else to note, Cobra Racing seemed to be entering a different driver into the number 19, no, the number 14 car.
if that's the case, I'm fairly certain that is illegal.
Well, it seems to be being allowed. No one's stopped them yet. I can give reasons why it should be allowed. I believe they were having issues with that driver getting ranked in the group, but I don't know. We'll have to see what the marshals say on that.
Well, I think the best assumption would be that isn't entirely legal. DFF Devon on the way to the spinning it, but I think that might have not been caught by the cameras, although.
And I
really
believe the cameras are broken again.
Are the cameras broken?
I'm not sure.
They don't seem to be.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Oh, we'll have to see. Hopefully they get this underway quicker rather than taking 5 years to do it. But we will see.
So, people are saying to take the attack mode on the first lap, which I would be surprised if we don't see everyone doing that, to be fair.
Well, the attack mode won't last a full 4 laps. It lasts about 3 laps. So there could still be variations and strategies here. People could take it on the first lap or the second lap. And to be honest, I think the beneficial strategy is taking it on the second lap. You're going to have AM when other drivers don't and towards the line. So we will have to see. But I believe we're about to get underway. Yes, we are. Watch the lights has been called. I believe we have 5 lights. Out they go. Dark gets into the lead. Pilot in P3. One Yeezy Boy in P2. Will any changes be made in the early stages of this sprint? Pilot dropping back. Dark taking away the lead. One Yeezy Boy close behind. Accurate getting into P3 there. They come through turn 2 for the first time. Any mistakes here? One Yeezy Boy slightly hitting the wall. Accurate getting through cleanly. He is now in P3, but he is under pressure from that Cobra Racing. Now, who will take AM as we come towards it? Will Dark and One Yeezy Boy take AM straight away? Who will take it? We're about to find out. One Yeezy Boy has instantly taken AM. So has Superfist. So has Father Ewok. So has Puffy Bad Martin. Arceus, Tingers, Cons, Lowly Aishan, Titanic, and Rolox. Will this help them in this stage of the race? Or will it be the bad strategy call?
These drivers, they want every possible advantage, and the attack mode should last just until the last lap, so maybe some drivers are going to wait for 1 lap before activating their attack mode, so they have it on the last lap, which ultimately will be the most crucial one. Some drivers will be wanting to be strategic about how they are using the slipstream to their advantage, so if they want to use the slipstream on the last lap and have attack mode, they will wait to deploy it.
We will see. They're coming over to start that second lap. Will everyone else take attack mode, or will they not? I assume they will. One Yeezy Boy has got into the lead though. Dark 7/10 behind. willing or make any mistakes. Mistakes here are going to make your race difficult. So, as we come through turn 2 now, through turn 2, that very tight corner, few people making some minor mistakes through there, but nothing major. As Arceus is disconnected, that is not good for the Red Bull driver.
Well, that a abrupt end to the race, and if I'm not wrong, there was only 18 cars in the race for the start, so one of these cars is illegally in the race.
I'm not sure, but Arceus' car has been turned around and everyone else has taken attack mode. It's fully red, and now we will see what will happen. Who is this going to help? Coming down the straight now, it's a head-to-head fight between all these drivers. Who has the most pace and who's made the right strategy call? The people taking AM on lap 1 or the people taking AM now? We will only be able to find out by the end of the race. People might be making small mistakes here. They are trying to use that slipstream, trying to catch back up, but we will only be able to tell the position once they cross this line.
Can't really ever tell the positions, especially in a slipstream train like this, but as you can see, everyone in the race at the moment has attack mode.
Superfist in P1, that is quite surprising from the Lolex driver. One Yeety Boy in P2 and Dark in P3. Father Ewok in that P4 position, and rounding off the top 5 is Puffy as we come onto the penultimate lap. As Lowly Aishan disconnects from the race, Red Bull have had a stinker.
I'm wildly concerned because we are running an extra car here, so it might be worth investigating that at the end of the race, and if we get a result before the end of the race.
Puffy Bad Martin is now out of the race.
So
what is going on here?
we have some information. Rolex Master Whitey has illegally joined the race at the restart.
I wonder if he will be kicked from the race. We'll find out soon. Dolphin Electric of Father Ewok missing his braking point now. The people who took AM on lap 1 will now be running out of AM. Will this help the people that just took AM? They have the final lap with AM. 8 seconds for the people with AM currently. And it runs out for them.
Dark YZ has made the right choice here to use his attack mode so it lasts till the end of the race, and this could see him through to the race win as long as he makes no major mistakes.
Don't know that yet. They still have to catch up. 5 tenths of a second. That's not much, but you never know what could happen. As Pilot for me going to be able to climb up into maybe P2 as well. We'll have to see.
So Rolex Master has just been disqualified or disconnected from the race, so we are now back on the correct amount of drivers in this race.
One of the drivers who took AM on lap 1 has just taken AM again, so this completely restarts the battle. Of course, taking AM doesn't actually cost you that much on this track, so to be honest, lap 1 may have been the smarter decision, because now it's just a pure fight of pace. Dark has made a gap, but the rest of them, from P3 to about P5, still are very close. They're coming towards the line. Dark is being reeled in a bit by this slipstream. Who's leading this battle?
Safe. We could see a draw for P2 though.
Who is leading this battle? It looks to be Pilot for me. Maybe it could be one Yeety Boy. It is Pilot for me with one Yeety Boy in P3, Superfist in P4, and Father Ewok at P5. What a close finish! It was 0.033 of a second between P2 and 3. Cobra Racing get a podium on their debut. One Yeety Boy on his, I guess, legal debut gets a podium, and Superfist in that Lolex only just misses out on a podium. Oh, how close that was! That's amazing. Oh, Several drivers instantly rage quitting. Black and RX instantly leaving the game. But what a race that was. Well, what a finish! The championship leader Dart takes the win with Pilot for me in P2 and one Yeety Boy in P3.
That was a very exciting race, and that ending to the race will most importantly be one of the best ones we have likely seen all season.
That's good for them. They will be quite happy, I'm sure, with that finish. But there are definitely some drivers that didn't benefit from that. And they're not going to be happy with that.
No, certainly not.
But it's time for the celebrations now. And we're going to see, for the first time, Cobra Racing on that podium. For the first time, I think, one Yeety on an Ion podium. I think Fleet have got a podium in I8 before. And for the manyth time, we're going to see Dark taking that win in I8. As the podium has become literal hell. So in P3, we have the Fleet Academy driver of one Yeety Boy. In P2, we have the Cobra Racing owner and driver, Pilot for me. And in P1, for arguably a lot of times, we have Dark. That 90Z type team.
Big congratulations to all the drivers on the podium today after that race especially, even though it could seem anticlimactic, especially considering that it was somewhat... It was... how do I describe this? It was somewhat decided by who was the quickest on track, who was the most consistent, but an underlying factor was the slipstream. Anyway, that is the end of our stream of I8, and we'll see you soon for Formula E. But until then, this is me and British Dakota departing you.
Yeah, have a nice evening and tune in for FE, which is literally now.
Before we go, we'd like to thank our members. You should see your name here. You can join us. It's next to the subscribe button. It's only about 99 cents. So, if that's the case, all you have to do is hit the join button and give us less than $1, and you can become an Ion member and support the Ion Media team. But until next time, which probably will be Formula 2 next week, if you hear me. Have a good day.